My name's Andrew Lane. I'm 17, live alone, and honestly, I like it that way. Ever since my dad remarried, he decided I needed to give them space and moved me into a one-bedroom apartment across town. No rules, no nagging, just me, my anime collection, and peace. I was fine, more than fine, until today. I opened the door expecting a delivery or maybe the landlord. Instead, standing right there was Caitlin Morris. Blonde hair, perfectly styled, that confident, unreadable expression. Yeah, that Caitlin. The gal from school everyone talks about, the one with the rumors, the one who always keeps to herself. Hi, I'm your housekeeper. It's nice to meet you. Housekeeper. I didn't know what to say. She just stood there, looking completely normal about the whole thing. Apparently my dad, paranoid that I'd turn into some lonely degenerate otaku, hired a housekeeping agency. And lucky me, Caitlin was assigned to my apartment. How was she the one cleaning my place? I stood there like an idiot, barely managing nice to meet you too. And that's how it started. My quiet, solo life just got complicated. It happened out of nowhere. One day, my dad came home with a woman I'd never seen before. She looked young, polished, way too cheerful, and then he hit me with it. Andrew, this is Melissa. We're getting married, just like that. No warning, no build-up, just bam. Instant stepmom. I didn't even get a chance to process it before the next bomb dropped. So, we're gonna need the house to ourselves. What? He said it like he was telling me we were out of milk. Totally casual. Apparently, newlywed life required 0 teenagers around. So he'd already found me a one-bedroom apartment across town, fully furnished, rent paid in advance. Great. To be fair, it wasn't awful. I mean, the place was decent, quiet, close to school. And I finally had space for my manga, my figures, and my collection without anyone judging me. But still, being kicked out so my dad could roleplay some second-chance love story, yeah, it stung. I told myself I didn't care, that it was fine, but deep down, it felt a lot like being replaced. At first, living alone felt like a dream. No one telling me to clean my room, no lectures about growing up, just silence and space. I set up my shelves exactly how I wanted, anime Blu-rays in alphabetical order, limited edition figures front and center, posters I'd never dare put up at home. Yeah, they finally saw the light of day. It was my little otaku paradise. And for a while, it worked. Wake up late, microwave some instant ramen, watch 2 or 6 episodes in a row, repeat, but then reality hit. Turns out, when you're not used to doing laundry or vacuuming, or basic human maintenance, things go downhill fast. Dirty dishes started piling up in the sink, laundry baskets overflowed, and I couldn't remember what color my carpet used to be. I kept saying I'd clean tomorrow. Tomorrow turned into next week, and then, one day, I stepped on a manga volume I didn't even remember buying and thought, okay, maybe I need help. I didn't know it yet, but that's exactly what I was about to get. In the form of Caitlin Morris, of all people. It happened on a Saturday, an ordinary day in all other ways. I was halfway through reorganizing my figures, again, when I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. No deliveries, no neighbors, so I opened it, kind of annoyed. And there she was, Caitlin Morris. Yeah, that Caitlin. The girl who never talks to anyone, always seen alone, blonde hair, perfect makeup, intimidating aura. People at school called her everything from Ice Queen to don't get involved with her. And now she was standing at my front door. Hi, she said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. I'm your housekeeper. I blinked. You're my what? Your housekeeper, she repeated, cool as ever. Your dad hired me through an agency. I stared at her like she just told me she was a time traveler. This had to be a prank, or some cruel setup, but no. She walked in like she belonged, glancing around at the chaos I called my apartment. All I could do was stand there, mouth slightly open, mind racing, while Caitlin Morris, the untouchable gal from school, casually picked up my empty ramen cups and said, I'll get started. And just like that, my life got weirder than any anime plot I've ever watched. I tried to stop her. The moment Caitlin walked toward the back room, my room, I panicked. That one's off limits, I blurted. I'll handle it myself. She tilted her head. You sure it's part of the cleaning schedule? I nodded. Too fast. Yeah, positive. That room wasn't just messy. It was dangerous. To my reputation. Wall-to-wall manga, anime Blu-rays stacked like towers, figures, posters, limited edition merch. My real self was in there. See, at school, I play it neutral. Low profile, just another background character, but in that room, I'm me. A full-blown otaku. If someone like Caitlin found out, my fragile peace would shatter, but of course, fate had other plans. While I was distracted, she slid the door open. Her eyes scanned the room, and then she smiled. "You like anime?" My heart stopped. Yeah, please don't tell anyone." She waved it off. "Relax, my sister and I love anime too. We watch it all the time." Wait, what? Caitlin Morris, the girl no one could figure out. The school's blonde enigma was an anime fan? She glanced at one of my DVDs. "You have good taste. This one made me cry." And just like that, my world flipped again. Not only did she not judge me, she understood. After that day, something changed. Caitlin didn't just clean the apartment anymore. She stayed a little longer each visit. Sometimes we'd sit on the floor, talking about the shows she and her sister liked. Other times, we'd argue over which anime deserved a sequel, or why dubs never quite hit the same. I never thought I'd talk to a girl like her about stuff like this, but it felt natural. Then one day, she mentioned her sister. "She's 11, watches anime while I'm working. I feel bad sometimes, leaving her home alone." I looked up. "You're doing this to support her?" She nodded. "My mom works 2 jobs. I help where I can." There was no bragging in her voice, just honesty, quiet responsibility. That's when it really hit me. Caitlin wasn't the cold, distant girl people assumed she was. She was kind, steady, carrying more weight than most people our age even think about. I offered to lend her some of my anime DVDs, even my old player. Since she said they didn't have one, she lit up. "Are you sure? My sister will love this." That smile. It wasn't forced or cool. It was real. And in that moment, I stopped seeing her as the school's gal and started seeing her as Caitlin. The next time Caitlin showed up, she was utterly transformed. I almost didn't recognize her without the flashy blonde hair. Her hair was now jet black, soft, glossy, and completely different. She was also wearing a Maid outfit that looked like it fell out of a slice-of-life anime. I just stood there, staring like an idiot. She adjusted the bow at her collar and asked, almost timidly, if it suited her. I scrambled for words and managed to say it suited her. Her smile was shy, a little hopeful, as she explained her inspiration. She said she saw a lot of maids in the anime I lent her. She thought maybe I liked girls like that. I blinked as she explained, and it hit me hard. Wait, had she done all this because of me? I asked if she was sure about changing her hair color. She shrugged, revealing her mother's influence behind her old blonde hair. She didn't want to be a princess, she explained. Her mother had suggested matching her style to a friend's taste instead. The word friend lingered longer in the air than it should have. I didn't know what to say to that. Why would she care what someone like me preferred? I wanted to believe it was just gratitude for the DVDs, but a tiny part of me was hoping it meant something more. That hope flickered like a small candle in a quiet room. By Monday, Caitlin wasn't just different at home. She was different at school too. The black hair and the more reserved look. She went from untouchable gal to mysterious beauty overnight. Suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to her. Guys who used to avoid her now lined up to ask about homework. Girls complimented her hair and invited her to lunch. She looked confused by the attention, but she smiled through it. And me? I watched from across the room, pretending not to notice, pretending I wasn't thinking about how just last week I was the only one she ever really talked to. Now, she was surrounded. I should have been happy for her. She deserved to be seen for who she really was. But watching her laugh with classmates, hearing others say her name so casually, it stung. I felt like I was getting left behind, like whatever quiet connection we had was being swallowed up by the world she was finally stepping into. And I couldn't help but wonder, was I just a stepping stone, or was I someone she'd still see when the crowd faded? It happened during lunch. I saw Caitlin being pulled aside by a group of girls, popular ones, the kind who smile with their mouths but not their eyes. They led her up to the rooftop, and something in me said, "Follow." I stayed hidden, just close enough to hear. "So," one of them said, "you think you're better than us now?" "You were invisible last week," another sneered. "Now the boys won't shut up about you." Caitlin tried to explain. "I didn't do anything." They weren't listening. They didn't care about her answers. They cared that she stopped fitting the box they put her in, that she was finally being noticed, for the wrong reasons in their eyes. I knew I couldn't just stand there. Before I could stop myself, I stepped forward. "She didn't change for you," I said. "She dyed her hair because of me." They turned, eyes narrowing. "I'm the reason. I'm an otaku. okay? I lent her anime. She liked it. A lot of the characters had black hair, that's it. I admitted everything. My secret, my obsession. The thing I hid from everyone. Laid bare, but she's not pretending to be anything. She's the kindest person I've ever met. She works hard. She takes care of her sister, and she deserves better than this. I didn't care if they laughed at me. I just didn't want her to be hurt because of me. There was a long silence after I spoke. No one moved. Not even Caitlin. And then, just as I was starting to regret everything, she stepped forward. I do love Andrew. Her voice was soft, but steady, like she'd been holding it in for a while. I didn't dye my hair to get attention. I did it because I wanted him to notice me. The other girls scoffed, muttered something under their breath and left, but we barely noticed. We were just standing there, on the rooftop, alone and not alone, hearts exposed. No more pretending. I looked at her, stunned. You? You're serious? She nodded. The more we talked, the more I realized I didn't just enjoy being around you. I looked forward to it. You saw the real me, and never judged. I wanted to say something smooth or poetic. Instead, I blurted out, I love you too. She smiled, and just like that, I wasn't alone anymore. The girl the school misunderstood, the girl I never thought would even look my way, was now mine. Things didn't magically become perfect after that. We still had homework, still dealt with awkward stares at school, still had to explain to some people that we weren't joking, but something had changed. Caitlin wasn't just my housekeeper anymore. She was my girlfriend. She still came over twice a week, cleaned up, borrowed anime, talked about what she and her sister were watching. Only now, she stayed longer. Sometimes we'd eat together, sometimes we'd sit in silence, watching the same episode on repeat, because neither of us wanted to say goodbye just yet. It wasn't dramatic or over the top, it was simple, quiet, real. She saw the side of me I tried to hide. Messy, obsessive, passionate about things most people laugh at. And I saw the side of her no one else bothered to look for, gentle, thoughtful, devoted to her family and, somehow, to me. What started as a strange twist of fate became something neither of us expected. Two people from opposite ends of the school hallway, connected by a shared fandom and an open heart. It wasn't the story I thought I'd live, but it's one I'm grateful to be in, together.